I've gotten lots of inquiries from my audience asking me when can they make a visa application when they are switching from one employer to the other. You know, employee leave employment for diverse reasons. Some can be due to job satisfaction or bad working environment. So it depends on whatever reasons you have to leave your job. So as a skilled worker, you're sponsored to come and do a particular job by a particular company. You're supposed to work with that employer. But if you are leaving that employer to a new employer, when can you do your visa application to leave the old employer or the employer you're currently working with for your new employer? This and many more I'll be sharing with you in this video. So you need to stick with me to the end to get the full information. Hi guys, as you all know, my name is Victor. If you are new to this channel, in this channel, I give latest updates about UK and UK immigration, ways you can study abroad, and ways you can migrate through the skilled workers migration routes. So if this content look like something that interests you or you gain value for this video, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Give a thumb up to this video. You can as well do that right away so YouTube can recommend this content to a wider audience. You can as well share your thoughts on the comment box so that I will know what you think about this video. So guys, without further ado, let's get started. I've received tons of messages from my audience asking how can they switch from one employer to the other and at what point can they make their visa application, right? This is very tricky. If you don't know how to go about it, it might result to your employer that you're currently working with terminating your contract and informing the home office that you are no longer working under their sponsorship, while your new employer that you intend joining have not sorted out their own issues. So you need to watch this video to get all of these salient points. So if you are leaving the employer that sponsored you to come and work here in the UK, right? As you all know, you are supposed to work with that employer. You are bound to work with that employer for the period of your sponsorship. But if for one reason or the other, which employee has different reason to leave their current place of work or their current employer, which could be as a result of maybe lack of job satisfaction, bad working environment, or maybe the pay is not something you feel it's enough for the type of job you are doing, and you believe you can get something better in a different employment. So these are some of the reasons why employees leave their employer that sponsored them to come and work here in the UK for a new employment. So, and if you are doing all of this, you need to work according to the law so that you will not be in a tight situation. Once you are able to get an employment with a new employer that is willing to sponsor your visa to work and live here in the UK, the first thing you need to do is for you to make your visa application at least 3 months before your resumption date of the new employment. This is where most persons are getting it wrong. Once they get an employment from a new employer that is willing to sponsor them and the employer issue them a COS, they instantly notify their current employer about leaving. That is wrong. You never can tell what inquiry or what might happen to your visa application. So what you need to do from the gov.uk website as shown on the screen, you can apply for your new visa 3 months before resumption of your new employment. So what that means is if you gain an employment from a new employer that's going to sponsor you, try as much as possible to negotiate with the HR that you need to get your visa application done before you can set a resumption date. Otherwise, you can as well tell them to give you 3 months before resumption so that you will be able to sort out the visa application process and all that before you resume. So what you need to do 3 months into before resumption, make a visa application without notifying your current employer about leaving. Once you got a decision for your visa, you can now notify your current employer that you'll be leaving either in a month time or depends on the notice period that is stated on your job offer letter, right? If you have 1 month notice period on your job offer letter and you have 3 months before your resumption on the new job, so in all of that, even if you make your visa application and you get a decision 1 month, so you still have 2 months before you resume your new job, and out of that 2 months, you can have one free month to what? Notify your new employer about your exit from the company. Those who are trying to switch from one employer to the other, it is not advisable and it is not right for you to notify your current employer about leaving the employment while you've not gotten decision on your visa application to the new employment. Sometimes the UK Home Office might have reason to contact your current sponsor to know if you are keeping up with your visa condition, right? And if by the time the UK Home Office is inquiring about that, your current employer have already terminated your employment, or they've written formally to the UK Home Office that you are no longer working with them for one reason or the other, your visa application might have an issue as at that point, because one, they may not be in a good position to respond if you are keeping to your visa condition, because as at that time you are no longer working with them and they've notified the UK Home Office of your exit. That would put you in a tight corner. So before you leave one employment to the other, make sure you've applied for your visa and you've gotten a decision before you notify your current employer of leaving. That way you'll be rest assured that you've already gotten your visa to the new employment, and even if the current employer is writing to the UK Home Office, that will not create any gap that you've lived here in the UK illegally. So guys, this is very important for those who are planning to switch from one employer to the other. Don't terminate your current employment while you've not gotten a decision for the new employment you are going into. So this is very tricky. Another question I got from my audience is, how can you update your visa if you change your job role in the same employment, right? Take for instance, you are employed as a carer in a particular company, and after some period of time, you've done some training and some other certification that qualify you for a senior carer role, right? It is not proper and it is not right for the company to just elevate your salary or your status to a senior carer role without updating your visa. So in that case, you are not applying for a new skilled worker visa, but you are updating your current visa because your job role has changed. So I know so many persons, there are so many here in the UK that are employed for a particular role, and over a period of time, they've rise to a different role or they've assumed different position, but they are still working with the same visa that they were sponsored to ab initio. That alone, it's not right. So, and if the UK Home Office gets to know about that, that will be an infringement to your right, because you've already breached your visa condition. The role you are currently doing now is not what you are sponsored to come and do. So that is on its own is also a red flag. If you are working with a company and your position has changed, right, from the position you are sponsored to come and do, you need to, your employer, not you, you need to tell your employer to write to the UK Home Office to update your visa, right? Because the position or the role you are sponsored to come and do is not what you are carrying out at the moment. And your visa conditions state that you must do that role for which you are sponsored in that company. So it's not just for you to work with that company, but you must work with that company and work on the role you are sponsored to come and do. So if you are sponsored to come and work as a junior staff in that company and you've done some training or some qualification that elevated you to a senior role, you need to inform your employer to write to the UK Home Office to update your visa to reflect your current role. So with that, you will not be breaking any of the law. So many persons in the UK don't know about this. These are some of the things you can get on gov.uk website. Go there and check for yourself. So if you are here in the UK, your job role has changed from the job you are sponsored to come and do in the UK, you need to inform your employer that they should write to the UK Home Office to update your visa to the current role you are currently on now, because your role has changed and your visa needs to be updated. Because if the UK Home Office got to know about this after some time, you will be the one to be in trouble, because they expected you to know all of this. Here in the UK, ignorance or I don't know is not an excuse, right? You're expected to read through all the conditions that contain in your visa so that you will not run into trouble. So guys, if you're in the UK and the role your employer sponsor you to come and play or to come and handle in the UK, if that role has changed, you need to inform your employer to write to the UK Home Office to update your visa to reflect the current position you are currently holding or assuming in that company, so that you will not be in trouble when the UK Home Office got to know about all of this. So guys, we've come to the end of this video. If you get value for this video, which I believe you do, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Give a thumb up to this video. You can as well do that right away. And you can leave your thoughts on the comment box. See you in my next video.